Hello there. This is a little bit of a departure from other videos that I've made in the past because this is more of a commentary about the ongoing Dodash saga and just kind of like the state of YouTube from a person who has been chronically online for about 14 years and even before that was online quite a bit on social media. So, first of all, it's amazing the way that people are attacking this woman when you consider the history of YouTube and some of the characters that have uh, gained notoriety from this app. I mean, there have been some truly terrible people who have become very well known and have made a lot of money from this app. And there are certain genres of YouTube that I think are absolutely terrible, and no one seems to really question it. Everyone just kind of goes along with it. But this is where they draw the line. Like this Dodash lady is where they draw the line, and I just think that it is amazing. It is truly something to watch. Um, Now, people are calling her a scammer and stuff like that. Of course, I don't know her personally, even as a content creator. I don't know her that well, but I've seen her a little bit. Um, but they're saying that she is a scammer, and a lot of the reasons that they're using to say that she is a scammer is because she's doing things that are common to do on social media. For instance, to try and sell some product and gain some income, even aside from, just whatever you would get, just, by being a monetized channel. They all seem to do that. They all seem to sell merch. They all seem to have a Patreon that they want you to sign up for or quote join the channel. I guess this Dodash lady sold some sort of a pamphlet or guide or something, um, telling about how she gained so many followers in such a quick amount of time. Well, I'm sure that a lot of people asked her, and so she just decided to make something. And I mean, I'm sure it can't be all that quality because from what I can tell, it seems like it's all of this has happened within a week or so. So I'm sure it can't be really quality literature. I mean, and that's not um, to doubt her abilities as a writer. It's just that, I mean, writing takes time and it's been such a short amount of time. I mean, how well can this be like written and published in such a short amount of time? Unless it's just like a couple of paragraphs that she sold for like $19 or something. But it just seems to me like everyone does the same thing, but now when she does it, it's like a big problem. I don't understand it. Some people are also saying that she bought followers. Well, I mean, the Kardashians have been accused of the same thing, and they've been around for like 20 years now. I mean, we're about to embark on a new generation of Kardashians. So, again, I don't know why it's a big deal now that this woman is doing it. It's just very strange. So it's just weird to me, and it's just something to behold. Now, this is something that I do believe might be the case with this Dodash lady, and I do think that YouTube might be pushing her. And she may be sponsored by someone. I don't know, but that's just a feeling that I've had about a lot of content creators over the years that, they have this image of whatever, a housewife or whatever, but realistically, someone is behind them. Um, and they're almost like a paid employee. Now, again, I do not know her. I don't know much about her channel. Of course, there's just no way I would know, but I do think that that could be the case because for some reason, I do think that there's a push right now on YouTube to try and engage more with Generation X. There is a big push to try and get people to quit whatever their occupation is and then go and make YouTube videos. Um, and she may just kind of be the poster girl for that because I mean, I didn't even see her say, quit your 9 to 5 and go and make YouTube videos. But Evidently, she did that. But again, that did not start with her. That's been around for a few years now. And I noticed that when people started to kind of like normalize and glamorize, quote, van life. So again, I mean, that didn't start with her. And I mean, if anyone chooses to, listen to someone on YouTube to, quit their occupation and, try and make YouTube videos for a living, I mean, that's their choice. I mean, it's not really, I don't think a content creator can be blamed for that. I mean, to me, it sounds insane. Listening to these people talk, it sounds insane. I mean, why would anyone choose to leave their livelihood in the hands of the algorithm? It doesn't seem like anyone really understands it. And if I also don't believe that it's just totally random either. I mean, I definitely do believe that certain content gets pushed over other kind of content. I mean, that's just kind of what I think. Um, but yeah, there's that. Now, the state of YouTube. Now, this is from my point of view. I am Generation X. Evidently, I am or evidently, obviously, I am a Black woman. Now, I know my experience with YouTube at this point in time is a lot comes up on my a lot of suggestions come up and I'll click not interested, not interested, not interested. Don't recommend this channel, don't recommend this channel. And it's because when it comes to like Black YouTube, there's really only a few topics that they talk about consistently. And those topics are played out. I've heard everything everyone has to say. Sometimes I can look at a channel and I already know what they're going to say. I already know what they're going to talk about, just by like looking at the title. And maybe even like looking at the comments. It's like, okay, yeah, I got it. I heard it all before. I understand your point of view. I got nothing. I have no response. So I'm just moving on. I'm probably not the only one because Generation X did not grow up so much with social media. It wasn't around when we were children, but we have kind of matured with it. Um, it came about when I was a young adult. And so, we all have kind of matured together. And it's almost, to a certain extent, almost like as a Gen Xer, we're almost aging out. At least that's how I feel personally. I mean, I do look at some content from senior citizens, but I almost feel like, I mean, I hear them out and I listen, but it's almost like I'm too young for that. I mean, I'm not ready for retirement. I'm not having all these ailments and things like that at this point in my life. So I'll listen to them, I hear them out, but that's not quite my story. So I do feel like there is this push to try and get more Gen Xers, just to make content. And I've been noticing that for a while. They're saying it very directly. Hey, Gen X, start your channel and this, that, and the other. So yeah, I do think that there is a push to get Gen X maybe engaged or re-engaged. And also, I heard long ago that Black women were super users of social media. And I've also heard it said that Black people were more, I guess the word would be impressionable or like influenced by social media. So if the bottom dropped out of that, I almost feel like the bottom could kind of like drop out of, well, I won't say the bottom will drop out of social media, but could lose some of its value. Um, so I think that they're trying to get more Gen Xers just kind of involved and engaged. And I do think that possibly Dodash could be, just kind of like the social media darling. But that's me, and that's kind of like a conspiracy theory of mine. And it's not even necessarily about her, it's about a lot of people. But anyway, there's all of that. And it's just amazing how jealous people are and how people are coming for her. I mean, there are people on social media that are very, very successful. Um, content creators that have been accused of sex crimes. And I mean, they're still on YouTube, but they want to come for the food delivery lady from Texas. And it's just like, really, that's where you draw the line? And it's kind of interesting to see who is coming after her, too. So, anyway, those are just kind of my impressions on this, just kind of the state of YouTube. Um, yeah, it's just kind of interesting just to see what will happen next, because I know, I mean, there's a lot of content that I just really have no interest in anymore. I mean, how long are people going to talk about relationship advice? How long are people going to talk about hair and topics like, colorism or whatever? I mean, life does move on. Life, people mature, people's interests and points of view changes. And I mean, this just, talking about relationship advice, it just ain't it, and I'm single, I'm a spinster still, it's just not it. So, yeah, that's it. Yeah, because Black YouTube really only consistently talks about a few topics, and that's not to say that there aren't Black YouTubers doing other things such as crafts, talking about electronics and things like that, but those are more like, the one-offs. It's just not something that consistently ends up getting just put on my suggestions. It's usually it's something that pops up when I search it out, something like, help with software, or help with crafts, or something of that nature. But anyway, still, I stand behind this Dodash lady. I do support her. Congratulations to her. Um, let's see. I watched her maybe about a month ago. I ran across her. I watched a few videos. And then I stopped watching her because she was doing like skits about delivering food. And I felt like it was an inside joke. And like I didn't really get it because I don't use DoorDash at all. So, I was just kind of like, okay, well, this isn't for me. I'm going to go back and resubscribe just out of support. So, again, I want to say congratulations to her. And I got a few verses for Hater Nation out there, because there's a lot of Hater Nation uh, citizens out there. Okay. Proverbs 14:30. A sound heart is the life of the flesh, but envy the rottenness of the bones. So there is a warning. And again, that was Proverbs 14:30. And this is James 3:16. For where envying and strife is, there is confusion and every evil work. Another verse about envy. And for all these people that are on YouTube every day talking about, oh, I want to quit my 9 to 5 and all that stuff. Now, here's my thoughts on this. I think that people are making jobs their idol. Your job, I don't care what you do. I don't care. It is not the end all be all. Your job, your career, it's going to be over with at some point. And that may be a good thing or a bad thing. Either way, it's not going to be eternal. So you need to put your faith in God, and just whatever your job is, just be grateful for whatever it is that you can gain from it, and focus on the Lord. Okay, Psalm 62:8. Trust in him at all times, ye people. Pour out your heart before him. God is a refuge for us. Now, listen, it's not that I don't identify with a lot of these stories that people are talking about on the internet. I absolutely do. I have many, many stories that I could tell of my own. It's just, that's just not where I prefer to focus and put my energy. Um, Yeah, it's just not. I mean, hey, I'm not here trying to tell anyone what to do. If you don't like your job, quit. If you can, find some alternative legal, moral source of income, knock yourself out. But all these people talking about how they want to quit their job, I don't know. I find it to be kind of questionable. And I guess that's the video that really made Dodash just really kind of circulate heavily in the algorithm. And people are mad at that she said that, but that didn't start with her. That has been around for several years now that I've seen. It's probably been around longer than what I even know about. But anyway, yeah, that's not her fault. And if you're listening to people on YouTube telling you to quit your job, go live in a van, whatever, honestly, I'm sorry, but that is on you. That is on you. That is on the viewer. That is on the individual. Content creators are for entertainment purposes only. That is it. The only people that, in my opinion, really have a high amount of integrity are these people that are telling you how to do things such as change the toner in your printer or do something on an Excel spreadsheet, because that's all very like cut and dried. I mean, if they're lying, it's going to be abundantly clear right away. So, let's all keep our wits about us. Let's all be, act like we got some sense. Um, and yeah, that is it. Oh, and another thing about Gen X, they're like, well, I'm starting to adopt Gen Z's attitude towards work. Gen Z has more time than you. Gen Z has like 20 more years ahead of them than you do, maybe more like 30. But I mean, now is not the time to be making huge life mistakes. Gen Z is very young. They could probably ruin their lives two, three more times and still recover. Gen X is later in the game. So, I mean, at this point, we can't really afford catastrophes like that, because we just need to be getting prepared for the next phase in our lives. And that is good and bad. That's not necessarily bad, but I mean, it's just a part of life. Health declines, income opportunities are not as abundant because you don't have as much energy. You've probably been out of the educational and training environment a lot longer. And I mean, there's a lot of bias against older people. So, yeah, there's that. But also, as far as preparing for the next part of your lives, I mean, you're going to want to have some money so you can be comfortable and slow down a little bit, travel, maybe do things to help people. So let's all act like we have some sense, and let's follow the Lord and his plans for us and stay in the word and not be seeking out advice from the internet. And one other thing about Gen X is a lot of Gen Xers like to get on the internet and say, well, this is my advice to the younger generation. The younger generation needs to go and just live their lives. We've been 25, I mean, and I was 25, in the early 2000s. That is a different experience than being 25 now. So I don't really have that much advice to give them. The best advice I would give anyone younger, and honestly, I don't like to give advice in person or on the internet, but really all I would say is get in the word and study it and stay close to Jesus and just be prayerful. And that's really the same advice that I would give to Gen X. Oh, and furthermore, a lot of these Gen Xers now, I'm listening to some of these Gen Xers give advice to younger people. I don't think they're giving very good advice, a lot of them. So, yeah, there's that. I don't think they're giving very good advice, and a lot of them are not coming from a good place. I mean, they're not coming from a place where they themselves are happy. So, why do they think that like younger people should listen to them? I don't know, like if someone of the baby boomer generation tried to give them advice, I bet a lot of them would shun it. So I don't know. So that's uh, just kind of my departure, and just me talking about just the state of YouTube, some of my impressions, and just this whole like Dodash situation. Like it's just kind of wild, and I have never seen such jealousy and vitriol, honestly, ever in my life. And just the way people are just coming for this lady after some of the absolute scumbags and maniacs that have become popular on YouTube. It's amazing that the plain black woman who delivers takeout is where everyone draws the line. It's just a sight to behold. So, anyway, I just had to get that off of my chest. Have a wonderful night. Again, congratulations to Miss Dodash. I don't even know her name, actually, but continued success to her. Oh, by the way, I saw a video today where a man said that she is planning to sue people. I don't know how valid that is or how true that is, because I mean, it's the weekend. Right now, it's a Sunday evening. You can't file lawsuits, as far as I know, on the weekend. And I don't see how she's had time to write books and instructional manuals on how to be successful on the internet, and, have meetings with lawyers and file lawsuits. I mean, maybe I'm just behind it. That could be. But I swear, I found out about all of this like Wednesday. And the reason why I think the Dodash kind of like came up in my feed in the first place is because I used to like to watch videos about like food delivery and stuff like that. Now, that's not something that I have ever done. Realistically, it's not something that I would do. Nothing against those people. It's just that's not my cup of tea. Like, I don't want any sort of job where I have to drive my own car. If a company provided me a car, that might be different. But if I have to drive my own car, I wouldn't do it. To me, it just seems like it would end up not being worth it. But I just thought it was very interesting how people who make their living doing things like Uber Eats and Instacart and driving Uber and stuff, how they were just very methodical about it, and they have this all like planned out. So I used to watch those a while ago, and there's a couple of YouTubers who I watched who did that. And then later on, the Dodash lady popped up in my feed, and I watched a few of her videos. And then after a while I stopped because I wasn't real interested in the skits. But yeah, I believe that that's how she probably made her way onto my computer screen. But if anyone is interested in knowing what I think about what makes YouTubers successful, it is personality. To me, the best example would be that lady Tashira7. If you're not familiar with her, she talks all about like gold digging, basically. Now, I don't necessarily agree with everything she says. To me, she's a very questionable character. And if somebody accused her of being a scammer, I would believe that. For sure. And also, she's practices the occult. So there's another thing with her. However, she is funny. She's very funny. She's very charming. She's very attractive. And she just kind of has that little it factor, that YouTube it factor, the kind of je ne sais quoi. I mean, it's not quantifiable. So anyone who's saying that there's steps like 1, 2, 3, A, B, C, left foot out, right foot back, I don't believe that at all. A lot of these YouTubers who've been popular, I've listened to them and I've enjoyed them, but it's because they were kind of funny. Not so much that I was real interested in what they were saying. There have been people who I have found to be quite offensive and I've listened to, but they were kind of funny, so I listened to them. Like a lot of these old, like, I don't know where they are now because I stopped listening to like the MGTOW videos, but these MGTOW guys, some of them were funny. Like they really were. Like personally, they kind of cracked me up. So there's that. And they like to talk. All these people that, you know, do this sort of thing, they really like to talk. And any young women that might be watching this, I watch pageants and I follow pageants. Like I follow pageants on Instagram and stuff, and pageant contestants. It doesn't so much matter what you look like. You can kind of fudge that, but they need to like to talk. So, I mean, if you like to talk and you're a young lady, you can, I don't know, enter some of these state pageants and maybe win yourself a scholarship and get some notoriety, get yourself a little title that you can brag about for the rest of your life. So, anyway, that's my 2 cents. Thank you for listening to that rant and have a wonderful day. Bye.